on a scale of 1 to 10. Can't pick 7. Andrew, what is the differential that you'd like to?
If you guys will humor me tonight, I've been thinking about this, and I'm going to be totally honest with you, just so that you can understand my mindset. Women lie about this constantly, and we catch them in lie after lie after lie on this. And I know why. It's not even because they're being malicious. It's because they don't want to hurt people's feelings. Okay, like that's the honest reason that they lie about this answer so much.
Should we get the ratings before, or you want to?
Hang on.
Okay.
Nope. This feeds into the question. I just want to give a precursor so you understand my mindset. There is such a thing as something called the wisdom of the crowd. And what this means is if you had a state fair and there was a cow in the fair, almost everybody who guessed the weight of the cow would be wrong. But if you average their answers, you would be really close to the actual weight of the cow, the wisdom of the crowd. So what I'd like to do is ask you, if 1,000 men were rating you, what do you think they would average you at? Going around the table.
But you said you can't say 7? Was that what you said?
You can't say 7.
Why?
If it's 1,000 men are rating you and we're taking the average of all of their answers, what do you think that it would end up, the number would be?
Well, why can't you say 7, though? That's why I'm just curious about that.
It's a rest in peace.
Because it's a safe number.
Okay, well
rest
then,
in peace.
8.
8. You think that 1,000 men who rated you would consider you to be at the top tier of the most beautiful women in the world?
That's what I would
Wait,
hope
let's
for.
get, why don't we, Andrew,
Right.
we ought to get the whole,
I'm sorry,
we ought to get everybody first.
My answer, damn it.
10. 9.
I respectfully decline answering this question because I do not want to focus my point of consciousness into this sphere. So with peace and love.
What the fuck?
With
Wait,
peace
what?
and love.
Respect.
With peace and love, I decline.
Why?
Because I do not want to focus my point of consciousness into this sphere.
Into this
Into
sphere,
this sphere,
or
into
the sphere?
Into this sphere.
What
into
is this sphere?
This sphere, this point of conversation.
What do you mean?
And
what
the
does that
energetic
mean?
essence it lies within.
What-
I don't feel like it.
What does? I'm sorry. You're gonna have to
The
translate.
DMT is wearing off. Just let her just
Brian.
say what you.
I say this with peace and love and all due respect, but I don't answer stupid questions.
Well,
I'm
actually,
not
this
going to answer this.
I could say that the self-rating, perhaps, you could make an argument it's a stupid question. But it seems like if you were to ask, what if 1,000 people were giving their subjective metric on how you looked, how they thought your beauty standard was? That actually doesn't seem like a stupid question to me. That seems like a wise question because we're looking at the wisdom of the crowd. This is the point of the mental exercise.
Well, I believe everything in existence has a purpose, but I feel this lacks a lot of value. And this
Teleology, purpose. I love purpose. I love teleology. I love the idea of a telos. What is your purpose on a dating podcast, do you think?
to bring in a new perspective.
And could this perspective also be to answer the questions which you're asked? And here's the thing. I'll be totally fair, and I'll answer the same question I ask you.
Isn't that technically her answer, though?
Or is this just like off a photo of you, like a picture, or is it like they know what your personality is?
No, they
I
don't
think
know
that makes
anything
a
about your
difference.
personality.
Okay.
It's just a pure beauty
personality's
standard.
a
That's
10.
it.
Can I say something, though? So my thing about that, like my response to that is like, I think it's subjective too. Like someone could see me as like a 10 and then someone else could see me as like a, and I get you want to like average it out, but the thing is like, someone can factor certain things into looks on average. So I feel like you can't really like
Preferences and
subjectively
opinions.
like be like, because everyone thinks Brad Pitt is hot, right? I
I'm
don't
gonna totally
believe
agree
that, though.
with. So
And,
I'm going to totally agree.
majority
I'm just
out of
gonna
a
grant-
thousand
Hold on,
But
just to be
that's
clear.
a good point,
Wait,
though.
actually,
I'm going to grant all of this, right? You're totally correct. It's completely subjective. So based on what you think the subjective metric of 1,000 people who were rating you at a county fair, you're in a beauty pageant. You're in a beauty pageant. And the way that they determine who the beauty queen is they use the numbers 1 to 10. And you are estimating what 1,000 men would say you would be based on their general opinion.
So you mean like, on average, like socially subjectively?
Yes.
Just answer the fucking question.
Thank you.
Jesus
I don't
Christ.
know if
Come
I
on,
can
guys.
answer the question though. Like, what
It's
does
not
that even
deep.
mean?
1 out of 10.
1,000 guys looking at
1 out
you.
of 10.
Where are they gonna put
Well,
you?
here's the thing. I would have said 7.
Oh my
this-
God!
I
Why
like
can't we
this
say
girl.
1 out of 10?
I like this girl. I like
Listen,
this
listen.
girl.
No,
I
it's
was.
too deep. It's
I
too deep.
was.
1 out of 10.
Go off, queen.
I was.
Go
Go
One
off,
out of 10.
queen.
Listen.
1 out of 10. What do you
Go
give
off,
yourself?
queen.
I gave myself an
Say
8.
7 anyways.
Listen,
can't
I
say
was
7,
gonna say
so-
7, but why can't we say
So
7?
just say 6 if that's what you want to say then.
Go
or
off,
8,
queen.
10. Come on, just say it, and then
6
let's
or
keep
8.
it going. Jesus Christ.
6 or 8.
Well, how does
You
this
guys want to
not?
get so deep with every fucking
It's either
question. Just
6
answer
or
the
8.
fucking question.
Yeah, but how does this not like engage
Just
more of
answer
the
the
conversation though?
Because look how many people are sitting at the table. There's so many other things we could talk about besides this. This question is so simple.
Well, I don't want to answer it, and like I don't want to. How am I supposed to answer it if I don't know how to answer it? Like, what am I supposed to say?
It's not you're complicating it.
Internalize. What
Yeah.
would
What do you rate yourself?
Okay, I'll say
Hang on,
10.
hang on, hang on,
10.
guys.
Then 10. There you go.
Chill,
She's
chill,
10.
chill
Go.
out for a
She's a
second.
10.
Chill out for a second.
10.
Chill out for a second.
I know.
So yes, I agree with you. It's okay to get. Hang on. Stop the side convo for a second. Stop the side convo for a second. It's perfectly okay for you to have a clarifying question, but I did clarify. So you're in a beauty pageant. It's 1,000 men. It's the rating system of 1 to 10. They all are holding up their little signs that say 1 through 10, right? What do you think the average of that would be?
She said 10.
Well, just let her answer.
Yeah.
She did answer though.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't hear it. I
We
just
didn't
wanted to
hear
make
it.
sure.
Go ahead.
Oh, they want to hear you
just
say it.
Guys, let her answer.
10.
Go ahead. Say, sorry, we didn't.
10, okay. I heard
And
it
then,
that time.
hold on, but
Oh God.
we're coming back to you now.
Here comes the butt.
Allow me to have a bit of a back and forth on this, so go ahead. Well, have
My
you
answer has
reconsidered
not
answering?
changed. No, we
Okay,
should move
so,
on,
well, hold on. So now I'm going to have a meta conversation with you. So why is it stupid?
Why is it stupid?
Yeah, why is it a stupid question?
Because I feel like it's just on a surface level. Like there's no deeper.
You don't care? You're not superficial in any capacity?
No, I'm saying the question.
You're too far
in
from the
general.
microphone. Into
I'm
the mic,
sorry.
please.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Go ahead.
But I'm saying in general, the question itself is very surface level, and I don't think it takes into the account. I'm sorry to like have this conversation again because like I know we're
Just
going
go.
No, it's
on.
okay.
Have the
fine.
conversation.
I'm
Go
listening.
ahead. Have the conversation.
But I feel like it's such on a surface level where I hear this a lot on your podcast where you talk about the rating system and everything, and
Yep.
I feel it discounts and excludes the fact that everyone is unique in their own complex way. And I feel every person, say out of that 1,000 people, are going to be so different on that. They're going to rate you in such a different way because each of those people are so complex, including
We
you.
totally agree. Hang on,
And-
we,
yeah, I get, 'cause it's like
I
an
totally
average
agree.
you're saying, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So listen, I'm going
Exactly.
to repeat back to you what you're saying so that you understand that I know exactly what you're talking about. You're saying it's a superficial
understand.
conversation. The reason that it is because across the board, these ratings are going to be so different, right, that it's going to seem bizarre. Perhaps that is true. However, that's why we're asking, what do you think the average would be out of all 1,000 of these people? Now, before you say, well, that's superficial, remember that anytime your boyfriend, husband, et cetera, ever has asked you what you want for breakfast, that's a superficial question as well. And you answer that one, so maybe you can answer this one.
Well, for this one, I just think in terms of even say the podcast, because I've seen your podcast a few times, in all honesty, I feel like you've been fractaling on with this question over and over and over again. It's overplayed.
But why
Wait,
come on the
sorry.
podcast if you don't want to answer these type of questions? The podcast is called Whatever. So can't we talk about whatever? That's a whatever
Aren't you
question.
open to debate
what is-
though?
Yeah,
What
but
is-
it's just
Like, isn't that the
like
point of
this-
being on here,
Yeah,
though?
no, that's
Yeah,
true. But I'm
Yes,
just
I'm
curious.
open-
Why
I'm
would you
open
come
to
on this
debate.
type of podcast if you're not like thinking that
This
you're going to answer
specific
those
one.
type of questions?
Oh, I already knew I was going to answer this one.
Oh, okay.
I had this plan.
See, I
in my
didn't
head
really
before I
look too
came
much.
in.
Wait, so you said
I don't know.
fractal? Something
Yeah.
about fractals?
So fractals,
What?
a continuous infinite loop of
Oh my god.
energy.
But I
no,
feel like
there's no
this
what.
is
She's right. A
important.
fractal is a continuous infinite loop of the same thing over and over because you can take one, you can fractal it into an infinite.
That's
You
how I
can
feel
make
on
anything
shrooms.
an infinite through a fractal. Has literally nothing to do with this question, though.
Okay.
You could never
So
take it in
you're-
a
as
million
symbol.
years
I
how a
was using
fractal
it
has
as a
anything to
symbol.
do with this.
I was using it as a symbol.
Wait, so
Come
so
on now.
your objection is the frequency with which I ask this question, which is almost every podcast. Is that
Yeah.
your objection? Is the frequency?
I just feel like it's overplayed.
She's
I
trying
ask
to be
it too
different,
frequently.
guys.
But it's
Well, hold
Better
on.
be different.
But every single episode, I also ask people their name, their age,
Yeah.
where they're from, relationship status. You
That's
know.
just like a basic getting to know the person. It's
But also,
Oh, this is very basic too. though.
everyone's going to
It's
have a
very
different
telling.
opinion.
Well, you
Like
mentioned-
that same question isn't going to feel the same for every single person sitting here every single time they do the podcast.
Yeah, I get
Everyone's
that.
always going to have a different
Yeah,
response to that.
definitely.
And that's what makes the question unique. Not the question itself, but the person answering.
I get that.
Yeah. So let me ask you a couple questions then.
You guys aren't getting her answer. She's not
Well,
going to say it.
that's okay.
Yeah, I know. It's,
Well, that's okay. So
it's fine.
okay, so when it comes to physical
trying to make it the
attractiveness,
dolphin.
you don't care at all about that.
I think
In a
it's
partner?
more. So sometimes, if I'm just kind of like, I will be attracted to someone after I get to know them, where I won't feel attracted.
You're
to
not
them at all.
answering my question.
Are you talking about just like
I need you to answer my actual question. So, yes, are you attracted to people because of their personality? Wonderful. Can you answer the actual question, though?
Repeat it one more time.
Do you
Just
make
so I
any
can-
assessments when it comes to somebody's physical attractiveness when it comes to determining whether you would date them or not?
yes?
Obviously.
Come on now,
some
Okay.
girl.
over another.
I have a couple further clarifying questions then. So, would height be one of those things?
No,
So you would date a guy who's 4'11". How tall are you?
I'm 5'7".
5'7". So you would date a guy who's 4'11".
I mean, if they were,
They're no.
Just based off looks.
Oh, so they have to make up for it then?
No,
go ahead.
but
Say what you're
I'm
gonna say.
saying I want to bring my boyfriend to this because like I love him and I don't even want to like compare him to in any situation like some weird. I don't want to talk about other guys. It's like period.
Okay.
So if I'm saying they were equal, like say my boyfriend was just 4'11". Oh, I'm sorry. Say my boyfriend was just 4'11". And he just happened to be 4'11". Yeah, I would be with him.
How tall is your boyfriend?
6 foot.
6'2".
Nice.
Huh?
No, 6 foot. I think,
He's 6 foot.
I
Okay, so
think.
interestingly enough, you don't care about height, but your boyfriend does happen to be
I didn't
two
even
two
know
inches
him.
above the
I didn't
average male
physically
height.
see him until months after talking to him.
You never saw pictures of him?
Yeah. Well, I saw him on Instagram, but I didn't see.
What? So you did see him?
I didn't
she was
see him
saying in
physically in
person.
height in that form.
Well,
I
you
didn't
can
know
make
how
some
tall-
assessments about height just
I'm
even based off of
5'7". I
photos.
could be.
Even the assessment
I'm
of like
pretty
how
tall.
somebody
There's a lot
looks
of
is
games
what you're
being
saying.
played on
So
this right now.
okay, so in any case, you would date a guy who's 4'11".
If they were exactly. Yeah. Like
If they're your
personality
boyfriend,
or
what if they're not your boyfriend?
Then no. 'Cause
What
I
if you
don't want
break
to date
up-
anyone but with
Yeah,
my
what if you
boyfriend.
break up with your boyfriend and you're back on the dating marketplace?
Well,
Would you prefer to date a guy, all things being equal, who's 4'11" or 6 feet?
I don't see myself not being with my
4'11"
boyfriend.
and
If I'm not
500
gonna be my
pounds.
boyfriend, I don't want to be with anyone else. So I don't
If
care.
if
I'm not
you didn't
answering
have
the question.
breakfast this morning, how would you feel?
I would be hungry, but I don't care because I would rather go be a yogi out in freaking India than go
Okay.
get
In any
harassed
case-
with this physical world.
In any
that
case, you
form.
did make a concession that you do factor in physical appearance, correct?
in some form or
Okay,
another.
so that means you can look at things in a binary, for example. So one person is more attractive than the other. So 0, 1, yes or no.
I wouldn't necessarily say someone is more attractive than the other just because of this and that reason. I think it's.
You guys.
I'm sorry.
You don't need to
mean
apologize.
that.
Just make the correction.
But I don't specifically say in terms of levels, be like, oh, because this person has this color eyes, they're more attractive than this person, or this person is an inch taller, they're more attractive
Sure.
than this
Let's say
person.
it's just it's totally ethereal. You can't even articulate precisely why or the reasons for why one person or the other might be more physically attractive. But can you make the determination that one person is more physically attractive
on
than
an
the other?
energetic level, like you just described.
Physical
yes.
looks.
No, but,
I'm talking about physical
Like
looks.
one-
but
more
you
attractive
kind
than
of
the
just
other.
described it. You said on like the level
Don't-
of you can't
gosh,
even
it's so-
put
That's
it into
not
words.
what I meant. That's not what I meant.
Okay, but if you did mean that, I would say then yeah. On
Okay, so I'm
energetic
just
level.
talking physical looks.
on physical looks.
Yes. Can you make differentiation and determinations when it
Yes.
comes to physical appearance?
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't like to in the form of seeing something as lesser than the other one. Lesser than something else.
Okay. But
Which
you,
I feel is where this conversation leads.
right. So
I
okay.
feel
I have a question. Do you you're currently wearing makeup now? Do you wear makeup in other capacities? How often do you wear makeup?
once in a while.
Once in a while.
Yeah.
Like when you go out, would you just put on makeup?
Sometimes.
Okay. Why do you wear makeup?
Because I want to.
Does it improve your physical appearance?
I'll take it off right now. I don't care.
That's
It's
not.
my
I'm not
own
asking
means
you
of
to do that.
expression.
But you said the question is stupid, and then it's rather superficial. But I mean, and you don't really believe in looks and all of this. But I mean, you've applied paint to your face to alter your
Yeah, but I
physical
apply
appearance.
paint to everything else in my life. I'm an artist. What do you think?
Right. You apply paint to like some sort of turtle shell. I don't know what the shell things or whatever you make are.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, you make these like shells. They're cool, but you make these
They're like sculptures.
sculpture
portals,
shell
I mean,
things.
They're not shells.
I don't
they're
know. Okay,
portals.
whatever they
But
are.
also my sculptures that are actually like life size. Didn't see them?
Yeah, I think I saw. They're pretty
They're
big.
multiple galleries.
They're pretty big. In any case, I'm just confused. So, you talk about not thinking the question is superficial, but isn't wearing makeup superficial? If you were operating on this like higher frequency,
Because what if I
Can't
just
you
feel
have
like
this conversation with her after we go around the table?
why can't you just feel like answering
Can we
the
get
question?
to Dolphin?
Hold on.
Jesus,
hold on,
guys.
hold
I'm
on.
with
Can't
her.
even make it.
Let's
Y'all
move
can talk
on,
about
girl.
this for the rest of the whole time.
Let's move on.
She doesn't want to answer.
There's
the
just
damn
rebuttal
fucking
after
1 out
rebuttal
of
at
10.
this
Yeah, I'm
point.
gonna keep going, Brian. I'm sorry.
It's a
Yeah.
It's just how
Yeah,
it's
that's
gonna
fine.
be.
So
deep.
that's fine. So okay. So no preference with height whatsoever.
No, I don't care about it.
You date a guy with a micro penis? Small penis, is that
Fuck
okay?
no.
You're okay with a small peen?
I guess
She's
I don't-
not.
You're
down.
okay?
You're
Small
lying.
pee-pee?
No, I don't care. That's
You don't
that's
care?
kind of dumb.
Okay, all right. Hey, you know what?
Like-
That's fine.
There
She's
has to
lying.
be
She's
some
just
for
trying to
them.
sound like a good guy on camera.
There
you know?
has to
She's
be
like-
some because I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
There you
No,
go.
I just don't feel like answering the question.
I know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
I
It's
ain't
like-
doing it.
I just
I'm
want to.
saying this
I want
on air,
everyone
I
to be
ain't
able to
doing
answer
it.
the question.
So do you
I'm
think?
curious.
Do you think, for example, like you don't want to answer? Do you not want to answer the question because you think you're a 10, but you don't want to say it?
Yes.
No, I would not say that.
I just think she's not.
I think you're a 10.
You would not say you're a 10?
No, why? Like I don't. Oh, well, I would say.
She's like a million.
I mean, I've just
I thought
checkmate you.
in some
This is
weird
checkmate.
way, it sounded
You-
like you were trying to like say that I thought it was better than someone else. I wouldn't say that. I feel I am equal to everyone.
so we're all
in terms
tens.
of physical appearance.
Okay, yeah, I would say yeah. We're all tens. Every single person
Okay,
here.
there we go. Everybody's a 10.
Okay,
Especially the
we're
girl in
gonna
the
get
pink
there.
hat.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'll move to that point.
So okay, everybody's a 10 in
Yeah.
terms of looks. There's no absolutely zero different.
In
but
their
this-
own unique way.
Morgan, is that your name? Yeah. Morgan's definitely like a 20 at least.
Okay,
And so is Helmet over there. She's
there you go.
fuck yeah.
Are all men 10s
Yeah, in their own unique way.
in their own unique way?
Yeah.
Okay. So can you think of? Do you have like a celebrity crush
No,
prior to your boyfriend, maybe?
no, I actually don't. I don't care about celebrities or anything.
Okay. So if I were to like pluck out like a 25-year-old male model, would you rather
I already
say
saw your list. I don't care.
what list?
All I
The-
saw on a prior
the
podcast.
True Rate Me? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
She don't want to
saw
talk about
all
none of
that,
this. He keeps going and going.
Yeah.
I
wants me
don't
to
find
comment.
any
Wait,
of them.
but why did you come on the podcast then?
She just
For
didn't like that
funsies.
question.
Girl, come on, because
To not-
you're stopping it for all of us.
No, wait, we could keep going. I don't care.
Okay, respectfully though, can we get to Dolphin?
Hold
I
on,
want to
hold
know
on.
the. Okay. All right, I'm about
Hang
to
on,
go.
hang on, hang on, hang on.
Hang on.
Let's finish. We want to finish.
We're
these
getting
things.
hungry,
We do wanna
and I'm
finish
getting,
these
I'm
things.
getting
point, though?
hangry.
I can already tell.
I'm
I can
getting
already tell. Me and
hungry.
Nick are going to be tangling right soon. I can already tell that that's going to happen.
Is this
But
citrine?
before it does, maybe I would like to just know the answer. So just so that you understand, this was actually a pretty common scientific practice, the wisdom of the crowd. They just would do it with livestock, things like this, as an experiment. And what they're trying to determine is, even if people are wrong about an actual objective metric, like the weight of a cow, for instance, if you took all of their answers collectively and averaged them, would they be closer to the truth? Interestingly enough, the answer was yes. So people would guess the cow was 600 pounds. Some would guess it was 400. Some would guess it was 500. Most of them were wrong, but collectively, when you average the answer, it was about right. So it doesn't seem like it's a futile question, doesn't seem like it's a bad question, and it doesn't really fit the criteria that you're giving us of overly invasive. You're just saying what you think the wisdom of the crowd would be.
I don't feel it's overly invasive, but to give a
Good,
just,
then answer
no,
it.
but just okay. I was about to, but just to give
Okay.
a blank answer to move on because we should move on. I believe, out of my perception, that we're all tens, including myself.
Thank you. Okay, let's go.
Do you think that that would be the average of the crowd?
Yeah.
Just say yes.
Sure, yes.
Okay.
Why do some people have modeling contracts and others don't? If everybody's
A lot
equivalent
of
in
people have
looks.
modeling contracts nowadays.
What's that?
A lot of people actually have modeling contracts nowadays.
Yeah, but why, let's say that there's people who want to be models but can't.
I mean, there's also like connections. There's also different things going on in life.
That's
like,
what's happening in the
Some-
modeling
in some-
industry.
you know, in
It
some
has nothing to do with
instances,
physical
true.
appearance.
It's
just
well,
'cause
yeah, okay.
all the models have
I understand what you're
connections.
saying.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
And I understand.
But now they want
on a
for
societal
models.
scale.
Yeah, well,
different
it's
body types.
definitely arseler now, but
So we're just talking about superficial looks still. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Let's keep going around the table. We're all
hold
tens.
on.
All right. You know what? You don't.
Hold on.
This is her podcast now. Okay.
I know. I was thinking she's gonna host.
When did you?
Look,
not know?
tell you what, ladies. If I want to talk about this for the next hour,
Hey,
I'll
go
talk.
ahead.
We're gonna
I'll
talk
talk
about
about
And
it
I'm gonna talk back for the next hour
Go
too.
ahead, go
I'll
on.
tell
You
that
talk
much.
for me.
Okay. So, anyways,
Hang on. With great tattoos come great responsibility, right? You gotta chill out. That's the way it
I'm
works.
chill, dude. I'm super chill.
She's the
You
most
don't seem
chill
very
here.
chill.
Like,
You seem
so
very
chill.
upset.
Yeah,
You seem
I'm
very
not- I'm not
irritated.
upset at all.
Calm down. Calm down.
yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Meditate. All right. Well, I have
It's the tattoos make me look mean and crazy. I'm really
gonna
nice. Okay.
Here's what I'm going to do. I have a follow-up question for you, but I'm going to get everybody's answer. So, are you going to answer the question? Or you said 10, correct?
Yeah, she said.
She's a 10. Okay, what about you?
Since I'm twice as old as everyone here, I probably like 6.5
Okay.
consensus.
I want to say, I'm sorry, I forgot about that. I want to say a 10 too, but I was originally going to give myself like an 8 maybe because I was trying to be nice to myself, but now I want to be extra nice to myself, and I'm a 10.
Okay.
Confident 10.
Go ahead.
I'm going with an 8.
All right.
I'm gonna say an 8.
Okay, I give myself a 5. Andrew, what about you?
So I think that the wisdom of the crowd would probably place me around a 3 or a 4, and I rate myself a 4.
You got to give yourself more credit than that, dude.
Yeah, you really do.
Well, so no, stop. Right? This is what I do is I look around at the reality that I live in. In the reality that I live in, I see dudes who are super stacked and they're ripped and they have youth on me and all sorts of different things.
Yep.
And based on those criteria of purely physical, we're not talking about personality. I know I'm fucking awesome, right? I have the greatest personality ever. I'm hilarious, great. We're just talking about objective beauty standards. That's it.
But you have a
That's
cute
all we're
face.
talking about.
Not besides your body, you have a cute face.
Aw.
Yeah, I get that, but there's lots of men who
you're
have a
welcome.
cute face, and then they have the knockout bod to go with it and everything else, right? So what I'm saying is that I think that the standard, the wisdom of the crowd would be about on par with where I'm putting myself. And so the reason I asked this question is because I was hoping that I wouldn't get a room full, because every woman who's on this show apparently is the most beautiful. They're in the top tier of the most beautiful women in the world. And you can see where I would be skeptical as to hearing that claim over and over and over again without thinking that maybe I'm being gaslit a bit, or perhaps people weren't being particularly honest with me. So I thought I would reframe it differently with the wisdom of the crowd, and yet somehow I still end up with the same exact answer. Apparently 1,000 men would also rate you to the same beauty standard that you would rate yourself, which is crazy to me. Don't you think that that's a little bit sus? It's a little bit like, nah, maybe you're
Men
not
aren't that
quite
picky.
being honest.
No.
No?
Yeah, it's sus. I think people here
Yeah.
are lying.
But don't you think
Yeah,
there's
it's
a reason why? Maybe
I think
What-
people
yeah,
want
what
to
is-
lie
what- tell me, what
lie
is the
about
reason?
same
themselves.
results.
You mean delusion?
Who do you
Is
think
that the reason?
No, why is there
Everyone
the
at
same
this
results if you keep
Oh,
doing?
they're-
If you're doing
they
something
ranked
different,
us.
why are you getting the same results then?
Well, actually, I just did something different. I just did something different. So usually the definition of insanity, which I think you're alluding to, which, by the way, this isn't the definition. It's some like weird layman that came out of the 90s from a bunch of stupid teachers. But how it goes something like this. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So I introduced a completely different hypothetical and still got the same result, which makes me think maybe I'm not insane, but rather the people I'm talking to might be suffering a bit from delusion.
Okay,
I agree.
I'm saying something completely different. You didn't even understand it. I said, if you're framing it differently and you're getting the same answer, then there's a variable here that's not being addressed.
What's the variable?
Maybe it's the context in which, like, what is the point of the question, like, is what I want to know.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll explain it to you so that you know.
Okay.
The point of the question is to ascertain between men and women who is more or less delusional about what the physical characteristics that they have externally presented to other people are actually perceived, right? So the perception of other people to how you actually look versus how you think you actually look. And let me explain the concept behind why that's asked that way. It's because women are inundated with messages from men who want to have sex with them all the time, every day, 24 hours, 7 days a week. Because of this, you can run into a problem which is unique to females because they have this superpower called female narcissism. And the reason that this ends up happening is because so many simps will constantly inundate their DMs that after a while they start to actually believe the bullshit. So this is why you end up having a room full of women who are, they could be burn victims with their fucking tongue hanging out of the left side of their cheek and have a hunchback, and they go, I'm a 10. And you go, what are you, fucking on crack? Well, no, not really. It's not that they're on crack, right? Even though you would think so. It's because there's still some fucking simp somewhere who's like, I gotta fap to this chick. That's my thing. I love when they have burns and their tongues hanging out and they have a hunchback. And so they believe the bullshit.
And
That's the point of the question.
And this is why I tell any girl that asks me that they want to be a dancer that just do it, because in the club you're always going to find somebody that messes with you.
Right. That's exactly right. And so now you understand the point. Now you understand the reasoning. Do you even have an objection to the reasoning, or does it make sense?
It makes sense. Guys, gas us up.
Now hang on.
I get that,
I'm
but I don't
to her.
agree with that point though. Like, you're like, oh, because we're all narcissists. I think it's deeper than that. I think it's like,
No. I'm not saying you're all narcissists. Wait. Don't
women
that
see themselves as a 10 is
no,
what I'm
saying. What I'm saying specifically is this, and I'll demonstrate it real quick before you respond. If you took your phone and the amount of DMs you get on social media to most any random man, and you were to compare how many men contacted you for some type of sex versus how many women contacted them for some type of sex, who do you think would be way ahead? You or them?
You know what's interesting about this? So I've heard
Let her
that.
answer.
Okay. I'll answer after.
I don't understand how you're even phrasing that.
If you took your phone and the amount of men who DM you to say, oh, you're beautiful, you're a queen, oh, you're great, oh, I wish I could date you, oh, I'd like to have sex with you, et cetera, and you were to compare that with any random guy's phone on the street, who do you think would come out ahead?
Of course, the girls.
Of course, the girls. So
yeah,
you can assume then that if you have that much attention one way, that it would be much easier for the one sex to believe in a delusion than the other sex because they're not being gaslit nearly as much.
I don't think it's about delusion, though. I don't think that's the answer or like conclusion to that. It's like you're kind of the way you're saying it is like degrading. You're like, well, they're saying they're a 10 because they're a narcissist. Like,
no, they say you're 10 because they want to have sex
like
with you.
Even a conclusion?
No.
Like that's
Guys
kind of like messed up.
It's called juicing you up, right? They're razzing you up and telling you the most beautiful girl in the world because they want to have sex with you. That's why they do that. And so what it does, if you have enough of that male attention, it jacks up your estimation of yourself. Men don't have that. They don't have the inundation of people jacking their self-esteem up. And so it seems that they have a much clearer objective standard of their state in the world when it comes to objective beauty, and women seem not to.
I don't think that's true.
Hang on, let her respond.
First of all, like, let's just clarify, you mean not all men, though? Because I know men that are like that. So.
No, of course not. Of course, there's some men out there, of course, that's going to be the case, that their ego's through the roof. They're drop dead gorgeous, whatever it is. But that's not in general going to be the case. A woman who's a mid-5 and a man who's a mid-5, if you compare their phones, tell me the truth, who's coming out ahead?
Okay, here's my response.
Answer that question first.
Yes,
who's coming out ahead?
I'm answering that. It's women, and it's because society, in like the structure of civilization and society, men have been on the hunt for women. That's how it's always been. It hasn't been reversed, so that is why. It's obviously that women are going to get more attention because guys are the ones that have always
systemically
done that.
I think you're missing some critical context here. it wouldn't really matter why. Let's say aliens. The reason is because aliens made it happen. The reasoning behind it wouldn't matter so much as the fact that it is true. And if it is true, then the results of this are, if you have one group who is constantly being gassed up and told, you're great, you're awesome, you're sexy, you're hot, et cetera, their estimation of themselves is going to be far different than another group that never hears that, right? That's the point. And that's why I think we end up with these standardized answers, which seem to be delusional.
But you're asking women if what they think about themselves, but they know their personality, they know how they are. But it's hard to say, just based off a photo.
That.
Is it though? Hang on, you seem like you're kind of based a little bit more in reality, right? Just a bit. So let me ask you. Here's the actual question: If you go and you compared your phone to whatever guy that you randomly met in the street, who's getting more DMs for sex, him or you?
I'm for sure getting more DMs or something.
Oh yeah, you're for sure getting more, right?
Yeah,
Tons
but
more.
It's not.
Now, do you think that if you had a person who was always treated a certain way, they were always treated like they were a princess, they were always treated like they were better than the cut of the cloth, they were always treated
Have
a
women
certain
always
way,
been, though?
that could affect their psyche to the point where they might
Women
think
have not.
thoughts,
Yes.
delusional thoughts about themselves that weren't true?
Yes, they're fucking delusional, for sure.
Yeah, they're fucking delusional. And so that's the point of the question. So
It's okay to be a little delusional if it makes your life better, though.
If every single chick who comes in here is an 8, then the problem is that everyone's thinking something that isn't true, and we want to know fucking why. Right?
But hey,
We
just
wanna
like I
know
said,
why.
they're an 8 to somebody. So if you want to walk around with that delusion or that reality, that's your reality, then that's what you're living in. So that's fine. If you have,
That's why we
somebody's
didn't ask
ugly
the
as shit and they're
question this
walking
time
around.
about whether or not they're an 8 to somebody.
Another
we asked
thing
about
was-
the wisdom of the crowd of if 1,000 men were judging, not one, 1,000.
You take out number
Then, if
7.
we still get the same answer, then that means there must be some kind of
true.
delusion going
That's a
on
good
here.
point.
You know,
There probably is.
I didn't hear anybody say you can't say number 3 for yourself. You said you can't say 7. I would have said 7
Yeah,
for
well, I
myself,
still
but
don't
I
understand the
wasn't going to
7. I
go
don't know.
down from 7, so I
but
went
whatever.
up.
I have a couple things I want to touch on this. So you asked why does it matter, and also could I just have you scoot your mic to the edge of the table and just don't, you're like shouldering out the 2 girls next to you.
Okay.
So, all right. So Nick, can you get the hypergamy chart pulled up? Because I'll go into that a little bit. I do have a question going around the table. Do you think you're going to be better looking in 10 years as compared to how you look now?
That's deep. Yes.
Better looking in 10 years. So you're
I would think so.
So 35, you're going to be better looking at 45.
I think so.
What about in 20 years? 55 versus 35.
Yeah, if you got money, you can look good forever. Get a little Botox, get a little this, a little that. Hey, that's my
So,
opinion.
so
Heads out,
better
I like
looking at 55 as compared to now.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of like older. Yeah, I think so.
Were you better looking?
Better looking.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
looks.
hopefully around the same.
The same. You think
Yeah.
you'll look the same at 55 as you do now? Okay.
Yeah, just a couple
Do you
little
think
gray
you were-
hairs, little wrinkles, you know.
Yeah. Do you think
tats?
you-
The tats cover up a lot of like the age, you know. If I get wrinkles, I'll just tattoo it, you know.
Do you think you were? Do you think you were better looking at 25 than you are now?
No,
So you're better looking now than you were 10 years ago at 25.
I think so.
Okay. All right. What about you?
Yeah, you know my answer.
Well, there's new people. We just.
I guess so, but
Okay.
yeah.
So you'll be better looking at 35 than you are now at 25.
Yes.
45.
Yes.
55.
Yes.
Okay. What about
I
you?
don't think I'm going to look better than I do now.
Okay, so you're 30.
I'm 30.
Okay. Were you better looking at 20 than you are now at 30?
At 20, hell no. I look way better than I did at 20.
Okay. What about you? You are 24. Will you be better looking at 34 than you are now?
Subjectively, I think women look better in their 30s. Subjectively, I think women look better in their 30s.
Subjectively, you think women look better in there. So then you'll look better in your 30s then.
I think so. I think they look more sophisticated, and it's like about their demeanor and way of being.
Okay, what
that-
about 44? You're
I
24
don't,
now.
I don't know. I think it depends
Hold
on
on.
the person.
Johns_myth donated $200.
Okay.
What do you call a lesbian on fire? LGBTQ.
Okay.
Also, what do you call 9 cows in a room with Brian's fat biteable Dumpty Dum? Oh wait, It's this podcast. Show me them titties, Brian. Yum yum sir #bo.
Okay, thank you, John's
You gonna
myth.
show him the titties? He really wants it.
He wants to see your titties.
He sent you a lot of money. Come on.
200.
I'm good.
Yeah, for Brian.
I'm good.
Show your
You're-
fans.
If you,
Show 'em
I
the
need a
nips.
Bitcoin. You gotta send me a Bitcoin if you want that.
All right,
Okay.
you're thinking now, yeah.
Yeah. What about
Challenge
you?
has been put out there.
I thought that was at
Oh, so 44?
44.
Will you be better looking at 44 than you are now at 24?
I'm unsure.
You're not sure?
I would say 30s. I would.
Yeah, we
cap.
already.
No, I
yeah.
said cap. I don't know. Maybe it would just maintain that.
You just made
This is what
10,
I hear.
10
Until
years.
44.
So from
So
30,
difficult, dude.
so from 34 to 44, there will be no perceptible changes in your looks.
Yeah, probably. Of course, there would be. But
Okay.
maybe on a attractive scale, it would stay the
Yeah.
same.
What about 54?
Probably not. I would
Okay.
reasonably say it would change in some form or another in society's eyes.
In societies, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
because they perceive older women as, for some reason, less beautiful.
Why doesn't that apply to
Benjamin
44
Button
then?
It's about how you take care of yourself, but yeah.
Like that. It's how you take care of yourself at 44. You never know. You could be more attractive at
So do you
44.
think you would look
hold
better
on.
at-
Let me change the question then. So the framing here is all else being equal. So people will say, well, I was an alcoholic, drug addict, and morbidly obese at 20, but at 30, I ate healthy, I didn't do drugs, I never drank, I got
Correct.
8 hours of sleep, and I was 13% body fat or whatever healthy body fat percentage is. The question really is, if all else being equal, if you possessed all those things at age 20 as compared to age 30,
Well, 30, like I said, I think there's a sophistication level to that. I think.
yeah, but I'm talking about looks.
No, but even in looks.
What he's
even in
asking, hang on,
looks.
what he's asking specifically, I just want to make sure that this is totally clear. When he says all else equal, what he's saying is, all the surgery that you have, whatever
I don't
you
have
have,
any surgery
all
at
the
all.
filler, hang on, all the fillers you have, whatever you have, and I'm not accusing anybody of having it or not having it, but whatever those things are, whatever your beauty regimen currently is, however it is that you're taking care of yourself now versus you at 20, that's what all else equal is. That means whatever you're doing now, if it was being done at 20, would you have been prettier at 20 than you are now?
Personally, at 20 to now.
She's 24, so
I'm 24.
so 34 to 24.
I would say,
24 years.
I would say equal or more, like, because like I said, there's a maturity in your appearance, not just your way of being, your appearance itself.
Yeah, but wouldn't that, if maturity was a factor in terms of determining physical attractiveness, wouldn't then people who are 55, 65, 75, wouldn't
think
they
it's
be the
different
most
from
physically
looking like-
attractive?
Well, I think it's different from when I was 20 years old, I had a baby face and I looked like people thought I was like 15. So I think there's a difference, like the way that people grow into their bodies.
So you
is-
no longer have a baby face?
Maybe, I don't know.
So what's going to change? So you're 24, but you said you'll be more physically attractive at 34. What?
Well,
it's not
for
going to be a baby
example-
face if
well,
you've already
for
lost it.
No, for example, it's like if you have, on a society's perspective, like fat in your cheeks or whatever, the older you get, the more your jaw the fat slims out of your cheeks, the more your nose becomes pronounced, the way that is defined, the way your face looks is completely different. Jaw structure, bone structure, cheek structure is
Okay.
different.
Can I ask a question? Is it also about the experience that you gain from that point to
Yeah.
34 that makes you hold yourself
Yeah,
physically in a
exactly.
different demeanor?
That's what I was trying to say in
The
the beginning, but then
experience?
yeah,
The experience that you have from 24 to 34, life experience, makes you hold yourself different
You
when
mean
you're
like
walking
more
through life.
bodies?
no
Not bodies. I'm
Life
talking about life experience. I'm
That's-
talking about tragedies and the ups and the downs
So
of
trauma
life.
Wisdom.
and baggage?
No, I'm not
wisdom.
talking
Yeah.
about
Wisdom, Brian.
Why are you going so negative?
Yeah.
That's what life experience is. It doesn't.
No, it's
I'm
not.
so sorry that has been your life experience.
That's not what
but
I said.
Okay, hang on.
but you're-
I'm actually willing to engage in this because I'm curious about this myself. When you say life experience, absent baggage, what the fuck does that mean?
I'm talking
I actually
about
do want to know.
wins, times that you have been very accomplished, like times that make you feel
Isn't
worthy.
accomplishment usually in the face of adversity? Isn't that what we consider accomplishments?
I
For
mean,
instance,
yeah.
if for instance you beat somebody in the race because you trained really hard, or you were facing some type of adversity to yourself, you overcame it. That's the W. How does that not come with baggage? How does that not come
You're
with
right,
making
you're right.
enemies?
Most
How does that not come with sexual partners? How does that not come with that?
So with the first part, I agree. The sexual partner part, I think it's different. But I'm gonna talk about the first part right before you said sexual partner part. Okay. So in regards to that, I would say, like you said, the accomplishment comes with baggage, right?
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying there, 100%. But when you are older, you're able to, I'm going to throw a term out here, you're probably not going to like it, alchemize that, turn that darkness into light within yourself.
I mean, I don't mind you using the term,
Okay.
but I'm not sure in the context that you're using it, I know what it means. Can you just really quickly define alchemize for me?
So, and I'm using it in the spiritual sense.
Yeah, what does it mean?
Turning one thing into another. Like
Okay.
turning iron into gold, like something like that. So turning your darkness,
Which is
your
what
baggage.
alchemy was, the ability to turn non-precious metals into precious metals.
Exactly,
but anyway, go ahead.
Exactly. So turning your perceived baggage into a lighter part of yourself. So the older you get, doesn't mean you have baggage. Yeah, you might have had traumatic experience, but that doesn't mean you have trauma.
Wait,
Now, let me give you a very quick counter. You do realize when you use the term alchemize, and I love the fact that you use that term. Has anybody ever successfully been able to turn, hang on, has anybody ever successfully been able to turn non-precious metals into gold?
I love this because I had
Answer
this
the question,
I
have
said
they?
no because I had this conversation with my
So
boyfriend.
why should I
and it's really
believe
funny.
that you can alchemize your
No.
trauma and your baggage into something good when the very definition of the word that you're using is the transmutation of non-precious metals into gold, which has never been done? Man, you really did yourself in on that one.
Andrew, that is not. I'm using it in the spiritual context. I am not using it in the physical, and you know that.
Yeah, I mean, but even in the
that.
spiritual, it would be the same,
Hey.
right? In the spirit, even in the spiritual context, nobody's ever spiritually been able to take any. In this case, let's say a precious emotion. Let's just say a precious emotion, and turn that emotion into something else without some baggage from it. How does that even work?
No, I got what you're saying in the beginning, but at the end you lost me. I'm sorry.
Well, okay, so if you have an emotion, and you turn it into a different emotion, how does it come with no baggage?
No,
even the process of doing that is going to be adversity, right?
No, because that's like healing a part of yourself. It would be healing that part of yourself, the baggage that is there, right?
So
Healing
something needed to be healed?
Not necessarily, but if it's
Well, then how are you healing a part of yourself?
so here's
what do you
the
mean?
thing. Because then you could. The reason why it's overlapping like this is because I'm trying to explain multiple spiritual knowings into one, where you could go into the deepest one and be like, oh yeah, everything is perfect. There is no need to be healed. You're perfect.
Look, I love the esoteric.
But
The
then
esoteric is a lot of fun for me to discuss.
And healing yourself in this context, turn your baggage into light.
Yes.
You
Can I say something to that too?
Hold on. I got to get this back on the fucking rails.
All right.
I got to get this back on the rails. This had to do with looks, and she was saying that by going through experiences and trauma, that this would somehow manifest
No, that's
itself
what you were
in you
saying.
carrying
You brought
yourself
up the baggage.
in a
You
different
were the one
way.
who literally brought that up.
I didn't say
You
that.
said what about all the baggage?
one of you brought up, well, as you get older, you get more experiences,
Oh, yeah,
and then you
that.
carry yourself differently.
Yeah.
Ergo, your physical outward appearance
Yes. Yeah.
is somehow improved
Yeah.
through your experiences, which would also include your trauma and baggage, as well as your
Yes.
good experiences where you're going to fucking Cancun or whatever the fuck
Yeah.
people do for your good experiences. I don't know. Articulate to me how even your good experiences will make you look better.
It's the way you carry yourself. That's the only
I
way
feel
you can
like
say it.
with good experiences, like going to Cancun and being able to afford the trip on your own and making that money at a different age, and you're like, oh my god, it's so accomplished.
I can just make a counter argument
And
and
be-
say
that-
just as
that
many
was
people
traumatic?
just as many people as you go through life, you tend to start accruing certain traumas and heartbreaks and
let's
baggage. Do
make it
people, let
that.
me ask you guys a question. Do people typically get more or less jaded as they get older?
More jaded.
So would they then carry more tension in their body?
Yes.
Perhaps, and question, here's another question. Do people's posture as they age tend to get better or worse?
Worse.
Okay, so then
But
I could just
that's an
reverse this whole
average.
argument of
Wait, I didn't
over
answer that.
time, your
Yeah,
outward physical appearance
We're
is going to
not
get worse
answering that.
because people tend to hold themselves in worse ways, either through being jaded, they carry more tension in their body. That's going to manifest itself in stress. Like you'll see that in people's faces. If they've had a lot of stress in their life, they're going to get wrinkles, hair's
That's
going to go
just
gray, they're
gravity
going to
and,
lose
like,
their hair,
cell
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
And it goes the other
And then
way.
people's posture tends to get poorer and poorer and poorer as they get older.
I like what you said about eating healthy, taking care of yourself. Like if you're doing all those type of things, working out, stretching, eating the best, whatever the fuck, that's definitely gonna make a difference. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
I think that the original conversation of from 24 to 34, you gain a lot of life experience that makes you feel confident on who you are. And that's how you walk through life. You walk more
do you
confident.
think, but like, okay, just in terms of what men find attractive in general, beyond just physical appearance, do you think men care about
I
your
think actually men get
experiences?
scared of women that have that confidence. I think that after 30, it's a lot harder to date because you're confident. And if you're single with no kids,
So you're
it's
saying
different.
women are more off-putting the older they get?
Off-putting.
Well, you said men get scared.
Yeah, they do. They get more
They get
intimidated.
scared.
They're like,
Right.
I can't afford this girl. You know, at 30 with no kids and living and taking
30
care
with
of
kids.
But I'm talking about 30 with no kids. There's a difference.
But
There's
you
a
said that
difference.
men are attracted to women's experience.
It's tough out here.
I
women-
didn't say that guys were attracted to experience of women.
It's because like women aren't as
men
when
are
you're younger,
attracted to
you're more like
confidence.
naive, you're
You think
more
men are attracted
easy
to
to
confidence?
manipulate.
Yes.
Men don't care about your confidence at all.
I would say
I could debate
Well, that's
that.
something
That's
new
not
to
they
me.
care about.
That's
They
something new
don't
to me.
care
You
about
think
that.
men like insecure
I
women?
didn't know
Brian,
that. I
Brian,
didn't
what
know
do
that.
men care about?
Usually guys
Brian,
are really attracted to
what
me
do men care
because
Move your mic to this way. And
Fucking animals.
I feel like I attract guys that have a lot of confidence and just
what
like.
does that have to do with what they're attracted
Well,
to?
I'm saying they're gonna be attracted to somebody else that has a lot of confidence.
I don't see how that follows.
I feel like guys like confidence. They don't want a woman that's gonna bring them down. They don't want a Debbie Downer.
That's